All right, let's do this. So in my last episode, I talked about the overall plan for this valley, the grand spire in the middle, the snow keep on these mountains here, and then the battlements that are gonna run across these mountains over here. And to get started on all of that, we're gonna need to do a little bit of outlining. Whenever you're planning on doing a really big build in this game, outlining is kind of the best way to pre-visualize how everything is gonna look before you start building, only to realize that your proportions are off or something's in the wrong spot. So let's grab a bunch of gray wool so we can kind of start to get an idea of how everything's gonna look. So as I mentioned in the last video, I'm gonna be building kind of a second village that rests on top of this one that'll connect to the spire in the middle, but I don't want it to just be like a flat platform that sits directly on top of it. So I'm gonna make the edges of the platform kind of curve inwards as we get closer to the spire itself, and I'll also have it step kind of a few blocks up as we get closer to the center. All right, I think this is a pretty good general shape for where the bulk of the village is gonna be. Coming out of my house, we can see that once it's filled in, it's not gonna obstruct the view of the village too much, and we'll still be able to see most of the stuff. I'm gonna do something similar with this side of the valley as well, but I wanna wait until I move all of the important farms from the multi-farm that I'm working on taking apart over here. Now we'll do one more outline for the actual grand spire itself. And I'm gonna have a little staircase that kind of walks up towards the entrance of where the spire is gonna be. And to keep things organized, for outlining large buildings like the spire or the castles, I'm gonna be using red wool. And then for general infrastructure like the entire platform, I'm gonna use gray wool. And then for smaller buildings like houses and such, I'll outline using a mix of pink, lime green, and light blue wool. So it's super easy to kind of differentiate everything. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit. I know this whole shape looks a little bit janky right now, but trust my vision, trust my vision. When the spire is completely done and the platform is all built with all the houses, I think it's gonna look really cool. But first, I want to build something in this grove over here. If we zoom out and look at the entire valley from above, we can see that all the crops for the capital are grown here, and then there's of course the villages and residential areas here, of course the spire in the middle, and then all of the industrial areas that we're gonna build on this side of the valley. So I kind of look at this as like a sort of natural progression. The crops feed the people work in the industrial sector, and then the industrial sector ships off all the goods across the entire empire. But what feeds the crops? And the answer to that question is what I want to build in this grove. I'm thinking we have a dam that goes across here, right in this little entrance, and then we'll flood this entire area to make an artificial reservoir. And then I'm thinking at the back, maybe we do like a dock and maybe even a nice pub and even some custom trees to kind of detail the entire environment. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch of stone first to build kind of a placeholder dam to kind of figure out how we're gonna shape this area, because I'm gonna have to do a decent amount of terraforming to make this look good. Okay, I think this is a pretty good shape and height. I might curve this side in a little bit this way just because I feel like this is too flat, but otherwise this is pretty good. I think the water level is going to be just one block below right here, and that would be on Y level 135. So everything below Y level 135 is going to be completely underwater. And since snow doesn't really make sense to exist underwater, I'm going to have to cut it all out, and I think I'm going to replace it with stone. And then as we kind of get closer to the edges where the water will meet the land, I'll transition slowly back into dirt. So yep, this is a lot of snow to remove. So let's get terraforming. Okay, this looks good. Now to completely flood this place with water, I'm gonna need a block that's easy to get and also really easy to break. And I think netherrack is gonna be the perfect option for this. Now we just completely fill out the reservoir one block below the actual water level, and then we just need to completely flood it, and then we can mine away all the netherrack and automatically have a completely filled up lake. Oh crap, the water's freezing. Okay, I did not think the water was gonna freeze. I kind of forgot that we are in a snow biome. But if water has a light level of 11 or higher, it shouldn't be able to freeze. So if I put glowstone 3 blocks apart from each other on this entire grid, it should prevent all of the water from freezing. And then when we remove all of the netherite, it'll still be covered by the water, so it won't mess with our blue color, and it'll actually make the entire lake glow, which might look pretty good at night. And I don't really have another choice unless I want it to be a frozen reservoir, which I don't. So let me put a grid of glowstone all over this place. Okay, now we should be good. We'll just flood the rest of the top part, and then we'll just remove all of the netherrack. Okay, we've got the reservoir pretty much done. And I'm gonna be honest, this glowstone grid is, it's really not it. It really takes away from the natural feel I was trying to have with this lake. And I looked it up to make sure I wasn't missing anything obvious, but yeah, this is pretty much the best option I have for not freezing the water. Unless I want to slap a giant dome over the entire thing, which I don't. So it's just gonna have to do like this for now. Maybe I'll add some extra stuff in the water, like some plants or something, to maybe make it look a little bit better. But for now, let's just go ahead and terraform the entire shore of the lake so that I can put some custom spruce spruce trees in, and also a big pub, maybe right over here. And to do this terraforming, I need to replace the entire top layer of this dirt with stone. Yep, stone. So I can transform it all into grass and moss blocks with some bone meal. Editor Wildez here. You don't have to cover it with stone to turn it into moss. Normal dirt turns into moss. I didn't know this. I play this game for a living, and I didn't know this, so the stone thing was completely unnecessary because I'm an idiot. Anyway, this took a while, but the end result was absolutely worth it. I honestly wasn't really sure how this was gonna look, but I really like how this turned out. Just the natural moss just looks like a kind of warm carpet that kind of covers everything, and I really like this look contrasted with the mountains and all the snow. This is looking way better than I thought it was gonna be. And it helps take away from the annoying glowstone grid. Okay, next let's go ahead and finish up the dam itself, because obviously I'm not trying to leave it flat like this. So I need to grab, I think, a bunch of different types of tough blocks and a bunch of different types of stone blocks. And then I'll extend it out a few blocks this way and add a nice tough gradient as like the backdrop, and then I'll use these stone to kind of make pillars that would be like supporting the wall. Okay, and for this top part here, I want to create like a bunch of channels that you could theoretically turn like on or off to restrict or allow water flow to go down to the village below. And we'll throw some lighting in there too, so it'll look good at night. Okay, I think this looks good for now. I want to do one more thing where I make a river that kind of runs down the side here to the lake over here. But let's finish everything else up here first, and then we'll do that last. I'm gonna grab a bunch of spruce wood and leaves really quick so I can build some custom trees that I can run along the edge of the reservoir. And if there's one thing I suck at in this game, it's building trees. I mean, I think it looks okay, but it's not as perfect as I'd like it to be. Why is building trees so hard? Anyway, I'll just cover the shoreline with as many trees as I can, and I tweaked them a little bit, adding a few variations in size, and I think it turned out pretty good, to be honest, but there's definitely still room to improve though. Okay, and I want to run a path along the shoreline here that maybe starts here, wraps around over here along the trees, connects to the pub that I'm gonna build here, and then stretches all the way down this hill to I think right here. So eventually when we build the city, we can have straight access to like a street or a road here. So I'll start by digging a little trench here where the path is gonna be, and then we'll get a bunch of packed mud, white terracotta, coarse dirt, and mud bricks. Then I just need to make a neat variation of these blocks across the entire path, and then I can add some moss carpets to kind of blend the path into the rest of the grass. All right, this looks good. And I finished up by adding a few more of those trees across the rest of the shoreline, and I also went ahead and added lighting everywhere too, so the whole thing would glow at night. Okay, yeah, this is starting to look really good actually. We definitely need some kind of building over here though, so I'm gonna first do a little fishing deck here. Nothing too complicated, just some wood, maybe a couple fence gates and lanterns. Okay, and for the pub, I want to do like a medieval house style. So for that, I went ahead and grabbed some white terracotta, some spruce wood, and then a bunch of different red blocks for the roof. And I've been slowly trying to work on like improving my building skills so that I can get to a point where I can just completely freehand a build without having to plan it in like a creative world, which is what I do now. I just want to be able to think of an idea, automatically, intuitively know what blocks I need for that idea, get those blocks, and then just build it from my brain straight up. That would make pretty much every build in the world so much more efficient to make, and I think it would be way more fun too. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one, if I'm missing any important details or anything like that, if there's some master builders who watch me. Also, give this video a like and make sure you're subbed to the channel if you're not already, bruh. We're about to hit 200k subs, which is mind-boggling to say the least. I appreciate y'all's support. All right, that's the outside of the pub done. I think it actually looks really good. Slowly but surely improving my building skills, but the inside is empty. Like I said, it's supposed to be just like a pub, right? So I'll do like a bar here with some tables spread around here, and then I think the second story and the third story can be like a hotel room, and then we can have some kind of entrance that goes out here. So let me remove the floor first so I can actually begin to build. I'll go ahead and do all the floors and then the walls too. For the bar down here, I'll do a little L shape like this. And then back here, we'll throw some bookshelves, put some cauldrons here, along with some hoppers. Then like a barrel here, I think. A little extra details here. Decorate the walls a little bit more with some paintings. And put some smokers back here. All right, and then we'll just fill the rest of the room with like chairs and tables. All right, that's the first floor. And then for the second floor, I'll just do like hotel rooms. I already have two over here. Oh my, what did I just see? This one will be a little bit smaller. I'll just do a crafting table, barrel, then like a stone cutter. That's not a crafting table. There we go. And then we'll just do some lighting too. And we'll just do a little bit more detailing upstairs. Okay, and the very last thing we need to do is build the little river at the bottom of the dam that connects to the lake in the middle of the valley. Okay, you know what? This looks stupid. Let's just put the land back how it normally was and replace the bottom with more moss, I think. Yeah, that looks way nicer. But that should about wrap it up for this episode. Next episode, I think I'm gonna focus on putting all of the farms over there, at least the ones that I need. There's a couple that I really don't need at all over here. The next episode will definitely be a little bit longer too, because I want to fully detail this area. What I think I noticed is the problem with this village here is the whole reason I built more buildings is because I wanted it to feel more like an actual village, right? But even with these extra buildings that I built, it doesn't have that village feel that I'm really going for. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm going for something like this in real life. And I think the problem is I literally need to build the buildings like basically connected to each other, like right on top of each other. And that density is what kind of gives that vibe, that village vibe that I'm going for. So next episode will be villages and farms over there. Then we'll move on after that. But this build looks really good. It is but of one piece in this great kingdom that we're working on. And as we build it up, it's gonna look crazy. Okay. So make sure you like the video, sub to the channel, all that good stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye, bye, bye.